Good morning from Sacred Space at Tanya's realm. It's 11:45 a.m. on the 10th of January 2025. I'm not well today. I haven't been well the last few days, and it's grinding my gears, people. But I'm well accustomed to living life as a zombie, so I'm riding through it and fighting through it as I do every day. The life, death, life experience, it's something I've gained somewhat mastery in, and with the grace of the gods and my very protective angels and my beautiful, soulful, loving friends who encourage and motivate me and carry me along, sometimes kicking and screaming. You have to laugh. But anyway, it's a beautiful day outside. I've been out with Charlie. Charlie had tree time, didn't you, Charlie? She sat in the tree and climbed all up to you climbed up to the top of the tree. And she got attacked by an Indian myna bird. And I said to that Indian myna bird, because it wouldn't have listened to Charlie because, they're vicious little birds. But surprisingly, it listened to me. It swooped down on you, didn't it, Charlie? And Charlie was a bit freaked out. And I said to that Indian myna bird, "Get away from my bird right now." And it did. It sat on another branch and it looked at me like, "I can't believe you're telling me to behave myself in my own tree with my own natural instincts, which is to attack the crazy clown bird with all her psychedelic colouring." But anyway, it behaved. It listened to me. I was well impressed. I've built such a relationship. I'm only half joking that I live like Snow White minus the 7 dwarves in my garden, because I've built such a relationship with all the wild birds that they all treat me with great respect and honour most of the time. It's delightful. Queen of my own little domain, my own little sacred space. Well, I got to be queen somewhere, don't I? The shit kicker, the universal schmuck, and sweltering away here in Brisbane, Australia, has to be queen somewhere. Just going to plug this back in. It should be fully charged because I left it on by accident last night, but it's not. Anyway. So, yes, as I was saying, it's a lovely day. I've done a very bad thing and eaten a whole container of camembert, so I'm going to be even more ill tomorrow or later today. It's very naughty, but my body said, "Give me cheese," and I said, "No, body, no, you're not going to like that. It's going to go straight out of you." And my body said, "Yes, give me cheese, I have decided." Sometimes it actually does need the cheese and it holds on to it, doesn't expel it out the nether regions. So we'll just see how we go with that, shall we? This try not to die thing can be a bit tenuous given my dietary disorders and my weird little intuitions, and sometimes going with things that I know ultimately won't be all that good for me, but if the body wanted cheese, the body had cheese, and we'll say. Sometimes it's spiritual too. Sometimes I'm under some kind of almost, not invasion, but kind of being soul-ridden by something that doesn't care that my body can't handle things. It wants cheese. Don't bath in your drinking water, Charlie, like, oh, dear goddess. No, it's not bath time, no, because then you'll put water over everything and yes, you'll be all refreshed and wet, but look, it's all over my book and all over me now. What'd you do that for, Charlie? Because it's hot mama tea. Like, don't be crazy. What a stupid question to ask a birdie. And now she's shat on me and are you quite done? Are you finished with the anarchy and the chaos? Can we continue with the story? We're about to start. Dear goodness. Anyway, she's wanting to bath in her water again. She's going to do it, isn't she? She's just going to follow her innate nature, and her soul-ridden entities are going to make her act out. Anyway, it's not so bad. It's not so bad actually. It's only water. It's just going to make everything wet. I just worry about it wrecking my printer and my laptop because I don't have the money to replace things if they get destroyed by tiny little birds with their own noses. There she goes again. Oh dear goodness. I'll have to put you in your cage, Charlie. Yes, you know you're being cheeky. You have to go in your cage. No, that's enough. That's enough now. We're going to read a story. Listen, we're going to read a story to the people of Earth. Yes, the beautiful ones, the magical ones, the sweet ones, the loyal, devoted ones, the ones with Schadenfreude and a few smattering of enemies that moonlight on my channel. I'm sure they do. Hopefully they've moved on by now. They're not going to find out anything new about Tanya that they didn't already know or value or appreciate in their time frame. So, jog along, nothing to see here. But anyway, this channel is also dedicated to survivors of child sexual abuse, domestic violence, sexual assault, survivors of the systemic abuse of the last 4 years ongoing, and to those of us who are quirky and defiant and rebellious and keep living our best, dreaming in spite of our enemies, which is the ultimate revenge, babies. Dancing our dance, playing our music, making love with our true beloved ones, those of you who have partners, passing on our culture and our ancient histories and our mythologies for the up-and-coming young. I don't allow young people on my channel because things often get a little bit too weird or scary, kind of have sexual innuendo at times, so I don't welcome that. But those that are growing up and old enough to be on my channel get to bear witness to some extraordinary stories, all true. Mine are all true anyway, and some are just allegorical, fairy stories. But somewhere in amongst all of that, Charlie, enough now. It's enough. I'm going to remove the water from you. You're going to pain in my ass. Some are allegorical and some are. There's always if you know where to look for it. I'll do that cough now. Dear goddess. Oh, here it is. If you know where to look for it, little nuggets, little pearls hidden in each story, little diamonds in the rough, little gemstones, you know how to pass it out. You may not realise it, but you're getting quite an education on my channel, and so am I, by reading them out to you too. I've learnt quite a few new old words like bum side, which means delusional fantasy world. Not quite real, living in some half-life, shadowy realm that cannot be manifested in 3D reality. So disappointing, it actually means a disappointing delusion. Well, Tanya doesn't do disappointing delusions. She does full blazing manifestations of power and love and passion and joy and delight and magic and sweetness, and she goes to war in your head on occasion. It has to happen, people. Then it can be a bit intense, but it's all balances out in the end. Just find our merry little ways of all getting along, find our own happy ever afters. It's all in the realms of possibility, my darlings. Yes, Charlie, what are you going to do? You got no water to swim in now. How are you going to piss me off now? She says, I'm thinking of a new way, Mama. I'm thinking of another plan. Gee, I think she's a little bit disappointed I removed the water. Now she wants scratches and cuddles. Oh my goodness. Anyway, here we are, we're 10 minutes in, babies. Thank you for sticking with me. I know my mind goes on strange little whirly gigs, little wheels within wheels spiralling out into infinity, but I always bring us back to reality eventually and knuckle us all down. Bing, bam, boom, baby. So here we go. We're going to read the unreality reality of Ali Baba and the 40 Thieves. Might have heard of that story. I think there's even movies being made of it. So how long is it? It's going to be probably quite a few videos. Let me just have a look. The last one was a 2-video one. Possibly 2 or 3 videos. I'm extremely exhausted. I actually don't think I'll go dancing tonight. I'm that exhausted. That says a lot when I'm too exhausted to go dancing. Although by 11 o'clock I could change my mind. I usually decide around between 8 and 9 p.m. because it takes me a while to throw on makeup and put on a nice corset and skirt or a nice dress and gussing myself up and build up the persona for the romantical dance. So I have a lot of fun for that. Unless they're playing tonight at the Brooklyn Standard. But my beautiful friends, beautiful and handsome friends, Ramjack are playing tomorrow at Fitzy's. So I'm tempted to go there, but the way I feel today, it's problematic whether I'll make it or not. But the gig at Fitzy's, I think, starts at 8 p.m, so it's an earlier evening. It finishes earlier. Quite like the idea of that actually for a change. So we'll see. We'll see what the Tanya can manifest out of her own dreaming and her own energetic reserves and her own passionate desire to dance and convolute with her own magical powers. Do you want to come dancing with me, Charlie? Let's do the dance, Charlie. You ready? You ready? We're going to do the dance. And their tanks and their bombs and their guns. She goes, oh, Mum, play a nicer song. Okay. With or without you. No, she says, that's boring and depressing too. Oh, what did I share on my Instagram this morning? I woke up and was feeling all sparkly. Excuse me. All sparkly and sneezy, and I feel like hell, but I'm also sparkly and invigorated. So I wrote something about every morning I show my CPAP results, and then I write something spiritual to offset the mundanity and the disappointment of it all, really. And but I thought of something really sparkly. What song should I put on my Instagram today? And I chose Dream a Little Dream of Me because I'm a psychedelic dreamer and it's romantic and sweet. Probably scares the crap out of all my male stalkers on me because they're like, ooh, Tanya's feeling a bit ha 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 this morning. And little do they know I'm just really kind of taking the piss actually out of my own self, because this dying thing or choosing not to die thing is taking a very long time. As my friend Lynn said to me, the problem with being healthy is it's just a long, slow, agonising, drawn-out death. And we laughed about that. But it's true. Either way, you can't win. If you're healthy or you're not healthy, you know, it's the journey you're on, the dance through life. The reclamation of all potentiates the unfeeling, the blossoming. Do you want to hear what I wrote this morning? It was quite good, actually. I have to say, I thought it was good myself. I'm starting to like my early morning musings. Sometimes they're a bit depressed, but this was quite lovely. So I'll read it to you quickly before we continue with Ali Baba because I'm in the mood. I'm in the mood for love, simply because, whatever. All right. So I posted a photo of my sleep report, 9 hours and 20 minutes with 5 events per hour. So a night, what's 9 times 5? I stopped breathing 45 times last night, which is not too bad. I used to stop breathing 11 times an hour without CPAP, which would have been 99 times. So I'm improving, people of Earth. I'm improving. It's not a great improvement, but any improvement is an improvement. However, I did my little sulk because I've backslid in the last 2 days. I was doing well. I was like down to 0.5 non-ceasing breaths an hour, and then it crept up to 2.4, and then it went from 2.4 to 2.7, and then it jumped to 4 point something. Just started to get really pissed off because I don't want to have that thing on my face forever and backslide forever. But I have to persevere for at least another 6 months to prove to my worthy doctors that it's not working, or working as the case may be. So I got my hopes up because it started to really be quite good, 0.0, or which only happened after a 2 hours sleep, but it got down to 0.5, which is very excellent. Only stopping breathing half a breath. It's half a breath. I'm just going. It's probably a hiccup or something. But anyway, I honestly don't feel like persevering with this science because I've survived without it for 21 years remarkably well until my bladder started really acting out. I'm basically doing this not for the sleep apnea, but to calm down my bladder, which it's working for that. So I'm happy about that. I am happy about that. Dear goodness. You have no idea how bad it is to get woken up 12 to 20 times a night to pee. Anyway, so I woke up this morning. I only got up once to pee during the night, which is a good night. That to me is normal. It's not normal per se. Should be no interruptions at all, but once a night is acceptable. Any more than that, I get pissed off with my own body. So, so I woke up and I saw the results. 9 hours, 20 minutes and 5.0 stopping breathings per hour. And I was like, fuck! Sometimes I do actually write, fuck! But my friend Jackie said, stop swearing on your Instagram. I'm like, Jackie, I always swear. This is who I am. I'm a real person and I speak my own vernacular, and it's perfectly acceptable that I express myself freely and maintain my own truth. But instead of writing fuck, I wrote backsliding. Slip sliding away, the nearer my destination, the more I'm slip sliding away. Paul Simon. It's a line from one of his songs. Which song was it actually? I'm trying to think of the title of the song. Anyway, it's one of his older songs. I love him. I love his lyrics. I love his mind. I love his music. I reference quite a few of his lines actually. So I have it in quotation marks to show that it's not my words, someone else's, but I'm just telling you now it's Paul Simon. Didn't actually write that down on my quote, but anyone that knows that song knows who I'm referencing. Anyway, to you, Paul Simon. I wrote 2 bad nights with my breathing. But slept from 9 p.m. till 6:55 a.m. exhausted. Well, I woke up at 6:55 a.m. It can't have been exactly 9 p.m. because it was 9 hours and 20 minutes, but nah, close enough, right? Who's going to split hairs over 15 or 20 minutes? That only counts when you're making love, babies. Ask me how I know. Anyway, then I wrote exhausted. Well, let me see What magic and awe I can co-create today. I haven't done anything today. Just felt ill most of the day. It's just another day in paradise, and Mustang Quay, that's my Ojibwa nickname, given to me by my Ojibwa Majuan friend, said I'm like a wild horse, a Mustang woman, pushing, galloping through all obstacles, even with shitty health and shitty life circumstances. He said, I've never met anyone like you who just pushes forward, galloping through life, charging ahead, no matter what, no matter who. And that's my spirit. I'm doing it now, making this video for YouTube, when I should be lying in bed going, I'm dying. But I used to do that. It didn't change anything, didn't stop me from dying, and I lost a lot of precious potentiates because of that. I can never get those 15, 20 years back that I lost when I was so very, very, very ill, munted down on psych meds for 15 years. I can't get those years back. They're forever gone. So remember. Bye-bye. Bye-bye youth and beauty and genius and ambition and all the things you could have achieved. But Mama T's back in her own body, mind and spirit, and she's still a Mustang Quay and still creating my magic, pushing myself forward, and when I get to the end of this journey I'll be hot and sweaty and accomplished, and I'll look back over my shoulder and go, bye-bye, bye-bye, former life of the Tanya, all the fucking assholes that tried to crush me and destroy me and hold me back. Bye-bye, motherfuckers. You taught me who I don't want to be, and you were great teachers, actually. Almost killed me, some of you, but I learnt who not to be and how to live my life triumphantly and joyously. And anyway, my beautiful friend, his nickname was Rex on Paltalk. I don't think that was his real name. You did tell me what his real name was, actually. Forgot what it is. Anyway, he was of the Ojibwa tribe, and he did some spectacular healing, and he was a very kind man, very respectful and honouring too of my spirit. Had to whip him into line a few times because I'm a woman, and men get terribly excited when they're immersed in my energy, even all the way from across the sea in America. Men have been known to get a little bit too titillated and have to go. But anyway, he was fine. He was a lovely man, very soul-nourishing, kind man. This is going to sound a bit cray-cray, but he sent me his totem, his wolf totem, and he was testing my spirit for a while before he was doing full healing. I think he was testing to see if I was psychic. This was back in 2012. It was before the little dispute finished. I was off my head, severely triggered and traumatized all the time during that little dispute. Anyway, he was testing my spirit, and I didn't realise how psychic I was either back in those days because I was too traumatized and ill to even realise what was actually going on. And I woke up and I saw this wolf-looking head of a wolf, very large, scary kind of wolf, looking down into my face. And in those days I still had my cats and my little dog and my little Miss Bella Rosa. I thought, it's not my dog, it's a massive big fucking wolf. And I must admit I got a bit of a fright to see such a thing hanging over me. As soon as I saw it, I just acknowledged it and I said, you can go now. I know who sent you and I'll be dealing with him tomorrow. And the wolf just kind of turned its head and looked at me and disappeared into the ether. So the next day, because I had to allow for the American timing is about 9 hours or 12 hours, something like that, behind us. I forget. I think it was 10 hours where he lived. So I had to wait till I knew he'd be awake too. So it was my evening. Rex, I said. Rex. Oh yes, psychedelic dreamer. I said, the next time you send your totem to me in the night, in my dreaming, tell me you're going to do it. I said, that was a boundary violation. I'm not real fucking happy with you right now, and you're just lucky, very, very lucky. I said that I have my own wolf. I can't call it a totem because I'm a white woman and that would be a cultural misappropriation. But I said, you're just lucky. I have my own wolf spirit animal. I know, he said. My wolf came back and said, it met your wolf, and your wolf is terrifying. And I was like, oh really? Well, that's because you violated my boundaries. I said, however, I said, I've learnt something from this experience. He said, what's that, psychedelic dreamer? I said, I've never seen a spirit, someone's spirit totem before, and I didn't know I was that kind of a psychic. I said I usually just feel energy and sense energy, but I've never actually been seeing beings or entities or spirits. And I said, you're freaking me out. You've opened me up somehow. He said, no, you were already open. I was testing. He said, now I can work with you and do healing on you because you're receptive to it, because you're seeing what I've said to you in the night. And then he stirred me up and joked about how he can come to my bedroom any time in the night in his American daytime. And I said, don't do that. Don't cross that line. We won't be friends anymore. So do not violate my boundaries. And then he said something along the lines of he would move some ornaments beside my bed so that I'd know he'd been there in the night. And don't do that. Don't freak me out. I said, I live alone here. I have many spirits here. I have to keep them under reasonable control too. I don't want to be freaked out by unseen entities. And he was, oh, okay, fair enough. And but he used to joke around with me sometimes. So I was in your bedroom last night, and your cat was doing this, and your dog. And he actually was a remote viewer because he was actually accurate. And I'm like, right. I said, because of you, I'm going to have to start wearing a nightie when I go to bed now, you bastard. And he laughed. But look, he was a lovely man. And as I said, apart from our teasing each other up a little bit, stirring each other up, he was a true healer. He told me he would light up the man that is destined to be my partner. This was back in 2012. He said, you'll recognise him by a golden light shining all around him. And I did fall in love the following year, 2014, with that dreadlock nitwit fuck-faced idiot. He really was an idiot how he treated me. He was a sadomasochistic piece of yellow dribble snake vomit. But but I have to laugh now because when I saw him, he was indeed surrounded by golden light shining around him. I just took one look and went, there he is, the one. And he was the one in that time frame. It wasn't a total mistake, misalignment of energy, because of all the viciousness he put me through with my fucking treacherous former female friends, the viciousness they put me through in that pub Irish Murphys, but because of them, they gifted me my own power and I grew myself back, literally from the brink of my own suicide attempt. So those dirty, filthy, treacherous, scum dog, low-life motherfuckers, by the severe suffering they put upon me and the grief and the horror and the trauma and the misalignments, built me back. And anyway, the golden light I thought I saw around him probably was just fucking strobe lighting, because, it was in in a nightclub, and I was dancing, as I'm always doing every weekend. So it was a false light and a putrescent, ugly false love. So Rex, baby boy, my Maduan friend, wherever you are, thank you for trying. He wanted me. He genuinely, heartfelt wanted me to have a loving man as a partner in my life and be in love and be loved and be in, cohabit with a gorgeous man, maybe even marry one day, although marriage is not really my worldview or my plan for my future. But he wanted me to have the one, and well, there weren't the one, there were the many coming and going in that time frame up to 2015 with my suicide attempt, when I said, that's enough, I'm out of here. It's enough grief and horror and torture and viciousness. Frankly, I'd rather be dead. And bing, bam, boom, babies, I'm still here simply because the gods, the Holy One, and all manifestations of human decency and righteousness and wanting me to have my happy ever after, vomited me back to earth against my own will, by the way. And they did it to me again on the 25th of June 2019 when I came close to dying after the gallbladder surgery. Kicked me back to earth again, and this time they said, we're sending you back to a hellscape of immense proportions, but you were going to be okay. And 6 months later, COVID came along. So here I am, now, 10th of January 2025. We've survived the COVID insanity together, my people of Earth, us that are still alive to tell our stories. And I'm immersed in so much love from my tribe, my community, my fellow revelers and musicians and dancers out in the music scene here in Brisbane. Mostly I go to the Brooklyn Standard, but sometimes I go to other venues as well. And the one for me, the man worthy of my body, mind, heart, spirit, soul, intellect, emotions, is coming. I don't know why I think that, but I just choose to think that. And so Rex baby from 2012, my Maduan friend, didn't make a mistake. It's just the timelines shifted, and people that weren't safe or good for me had to go, and people that are loving and connective and heartfelt and soul nourishing and courageous to tolerate my strange shamanic ways had to be invited in, and it's all building and building and building, and together, my gorgeous ones, my babies, my darlings, my sweethearts, we're going to make it. Not just Tanya Aarons with her true lover one day, partner, friend, partner, lover, life partner, but all of us as a collective. I'm holding you all very, very close and tight, and not to the point where I smother you. I'm allowing you all your own journeys, your own destinies, your own psychedelic dreaming unfolding into the future of your own gnosis, but I'm spiritually keeping only those, like I'm holding reins, like Boadicea on her chariot, that wondrous Icenian queen who took back her power, fought for her people. I'm holding you all very, very protected spiritually and emotionally and mentally as much as I can, given these fucked up times. And but if I let you go, one by one let you go, we will drift apart. That too is part of the dreaming, that we have our own journeys and our own discoveries and our own evolutions to make alone with other people. And anyway, continue writing here. I wrote it's just another day in paradise, and Mustang Quay is galloping along her personal timeline. Yes I am every day, even when I'm lying half dead in my bed. Mentally I'm flying everywhere, babies. With both trepidation and excitement, because she can see entire worlds opening up for her if the wave function doesn't collapse, which according to Thomas Sheridan, it's collapsing all around us. I think he's right. I'm not liking what I'm seeing, to be honest. But anyway, just as she is about to achieve her goals and rip her potentiates out from under her, it's happened to me a million times in my life. Just when I thought I finally had a beautiful love in my life, or some measure of success, or something good, some fucking awful thing came along, like, for example, 4 years ago, 5 years ago now, the COVID insanity. But try she must. The valley of the shadow of death is just another illusion. There is no death. I wrote, there's no death. Only life after life after life. In my case, surviving my own deaths about 15 times in this life already. That's why when my beautiful friend came to me at the casino, at Treasury Casino at the Live Wire Bar where I used to dance, my beautiful, handsome, loving musician friend came to me and said, I'm so frightened for you, Tanya. Words got round that you're refusing the COVID vaccine and I'm terrified you might die. It's how I realised he genuinely loves me as a friend, like nothing sus. And I said, I'm not going to die. I'm not going to die, my darling, I said. He says, but you have respiratory issues. I've seen you using your Ventolin inhalers that chronically have asthma and bronchitis. I've seen you struggle, Tanya. I said, oh, that's just asthma and bronchitis. It's very fucking debilitating, but, you know, I said, I'm not going to die. I'm not going to die. He was pale. He was really frightened. But they say that everyone's going to die. Well, in that case, then I will die, and that will be my fate. Do you understand? I said, do you know how many times I have already died in this body, in this incarnation, since early childhood? At that time, it was only about 12 times. There's been 3 more near deaths since 2020. Can you fucking believe it? It's a lot. Even I'm getting a bit sick of that, to be honest. So anyway, so he looks at me, he says, how is that possible? I said, I don't know. That's my walk with the gods, and it's why I don't fear death. Because when it comes, Santa Muerte, the Mexican, version of Lady Death. Not that I'm Mexican, but I like that. I have a relationship with that. Santa Muerte, he comes gently and kisses you and leads you by the hand, tangos you out into the next dimension for your new beginning in another form, my darlings. It's Santa Muerte. I said, when she comes for me, which eventually she will, I said, that will be my time. Not a moment before, not a moment later. It is already decreed by the gods. And only Santa Muerte, or Lady Death, knows when that time is. And when she comes, I can only humbly pray that it will be a gentle passage into the light, that it will be kind and sweet release and beautiful and peaceful and joyous. He just looked at me, freaked him the fuck out, I think. Wow, you have to be a shaman and have outlived your own death multiple times before you can comprehend this relationship that I have with death. knowing fully that it's not actually the end. It's painful at times and shocking at times and horrific at times, but it's just a transition, people of Earth. So I wrote, only life after life after life, pushing through the membrane and rebirthings to infinity and beyond. This reality is mind-crushingly distorted, almost unable to hold its structure and form, aka Thomas Sheridan's theory of the wave function collapse. He's completely spot on. I don't agree with him with everything. I don't agree with his politics, for example, for the love of all the gods. But his occult philosophies and his occult knowledge are spot on. It is indeed a wave function collapse. And I'm actually trying to outride it every day as we speak, as I present my videos, babies. This reality is mind-crushingly distorted, almost unable to hold its structure and form. So hold true. What is meaningful to you? Do good. Try to be good. Try to live an honourable life. Love who you love. Be good and kind and noble and courageous and free to be me in all worlds, paradigms, echelons, dimensions, spaces, multiverses, and you, my beloved ones, free to be you. As I said in a video yesterday, in our own bubbles, sometimes sharing our lives together beautifully, other times passing each other by. Hello, goodbye, I love you, and peace and acknowledgement that those souls were not the souls for me. However, as I said earlier, some of them, monstrous that they were still my greatest teachers. Hope they learnt something from that experience too, not to shit on other people and assume that other people are weaker than them and that they can get away with it. Here's looking at you, kids. Did you notice how when I did that glare, my death stare, did you see that? I saw it on my end. My laptop did a little flicker of almost like shock. It's just some little weird technological glitch, but I enjoyed that very much. It's amazing how energy recognises energy when it sees it, even electronics. I'm going to have to make another video because this ended up being me reading Alibaba at all. But the Tanya is powerful in her spirit. Yes, I am. Why? I don't know. God's decreed it that way. I survived too many physical, mental, emotional, financial attacks on my body, mind and spirit in this incarnation to be anything less than powerful. I wouldn't be alive today. It's that simple and that complicated. But the Tanya is powerful in her spirit, and she knows when going through hell, you just keep pushing forwards. Strong, loving hands will lift her up and carry her home when she can no longer hold herself up. Of course, my hope is that it'll be a human man that loves me so wonderfully and truly and deeply, but it might just be the strong, loving hands of Santa Muerte who claims me at my end and my beginning, the end of this identity, this body, mind and spirit. She is loved. Yes, I am. And it's the most astonishing, humbling, ways it almost takes my breath away, how deeply I am loved. She is seen and heard. She is held precious and supported. That man I mentioned earlier that worried so for me, not being COVID vaccinated, has been showing me so much support in the last couple of weeks. Beautiful. Thank you, my darling. Even from long distances of time and space, by that I mean I'm also supported from other supernatural beings across time and space in their individual dimensions, realms, echelons, worlds. I've never been so supported in all my life than I've been supported in the last 16 months since I lost my beautiful Beauregard. It's almost like he was a sacrifice, and in return I was gifted so much beauty and wonder and love and healing and support and genuine care and encouragement and motivation and enthusiasm and a little bit too much cloying, protectiveness, starting to get a little bit cloying when I feel overly coddled, because then I have to break free. I want to break free. I want to break free. But actually, no, I appreciate even the protection. I didn't have that very often in my life either, certainly not as a child. And what else do I have now in my life? Men who look at me as if I'm some sort of sexual icon, almost, but not quite, like Marilyn Monroe, and I would never welcome that, because look what that did to her. Completely immolated her, beautiful girl that she was. Didn't get to have her own babies, didn't get to live to be an old woman. Completely robbed because of the en masse sexual obsessions of multitudes across the planet. So too much love can be a destructive force too. Too much obsessive love that's not healthy and nurturing and kind and allowing people their freedom to be their own spirit, mind, body complex. Too much of something is too much. Anyway, my angels, my spirit people across dimensions indeed are supporting me and ask me how I know they've created this Titania's realm for me to be immersed in and participate in, full knowledge that I'm in service to Queen Titania, who wasn't just a fairy queen, but a titan as well, the ancient gods that preceded the Greek gods on Mount Olympus. They were actually cast down to the centre of the earth for some great sin they did. I can't remember what that was. They pissed off someone. But anyway, I'm very conscious that I exist and am alive only because of the determination and the courage and the vision and the foresight of supernatural entities, let's call them gods or angels, or all operating under the divine will of Creator of all that is, was, and ever shall be. I'm more aware of that than most other human mortals because I've walked the line literally many, many times. So I continue writing. Hold the vision, love, be strong. Be okay with not feeling strong. I have very bad days very often too. I'm human. In a physical body, I'm subject to its own notices, its own requirements, its own aging process as well, and its own spiritual growth. Be okay with not feeling strong. Nothing really matters except the psychedelic dreaming. I don't mean, using psychedelics to dream. I mean that I dream in technicolor, and when I vision, it's very, real. It's like watching television. I don't do that very often. It happens spontaneously usually, but it's almost like someone switched on a television and I'm seeing very clearly laid out in front of me people and events that later on manifest or come true in this 3D reality, in this body, mind and spirit, which can be frightening even for me, to be honest, but it's powerful when it's almost like time traveling in and out of the timelines when it happens. But when it happens, it's psychedelic because I'm seeing, the colour of people's hair and what shade of lipstick they're wearing, what clothing they're wearing, what events are unfurling around them. It's a very rare thing for me to experience that, but it's part of the manifestation of my psychedelic dreaming, and cost me my friendship with my friend and Rabbi Uri Tamal, actually. As I was sitting in the back of temple one day praying with the congregation, and he just looked at me. He was delivering the sermon, I think, or reading from the Torah. No, I actually think he was delivering the sermon at that point in time, and I just looked at him, and suddenly he looked at me, and suddenly I was seeing him in a situation that was toxic and unkind and unpleasant, and I was showing all the emotions of the betrayal of it and the awfulness of it, and so I felt compelled to tell him what I had seen. And he thought I was crazy, doesn't believe in the spirit world, doesn't believe in remote viewing, doesn't believe in prophecy, which is kind of odd for a rabbi since most of the Torah is about prophecy and visioning and things that are supposed to be, thou shalt not suffer a witch to live, because they were terrified actually of people being so present in their own mind and body that they could see the future at times or have messages gifted to them from the Holy One in all manifestations. Just saying. So I told him it was a meeting he had to go to actually at the Moat Tsar, and I warned him that there would be some backstabbing and malevolence. I said, I don't know what it's about because I don't know your private business, and it's not my business to ask or to judge, but just want to let you know this is about to happen. Anyway, he looked at me like I was a lunatic, which I accepted because I was just coming into my abilities. I was like 30 years old and I didn't even understand quite what was... Actually, no, I was a bit older. I was 32. I didn't even understand what it was that happened because I literally just glitched in and glitched out of a holographic matrix and to his reality, his future, and back into mine, and I actually felt very dazed and confused by it, but compelled to tell him. Anyway, a few weeks later, that little vision I had manifested, and then he hated me. He hated me. We'd been good friends, but after that, he kind of hated me. It's almost as though he thought that I had somehow wished that reality upon him or brought it about, and I had no control over that. I was merely the messenger that witnessed the events I have no control over what I see, how it unfolds, or how people react to others, or what evil is cycling around us, or I have no control. It's just like when COVID, when I was told 6 months before it that near death was sending you back to a hellscape of epic proportions. But they didn't tell me details. They didn't say, oh, there's going to be a virus unleashed on the earth and it's bioengineered and it's dangerous and everyone's going to be made, lose all their body autonomy and they're going to be coerced into this thing because on fear of death, and it's going to be whipped into a frenzy by our globalists and media. And I didn't know, they didn't give me any details. They just basically said, you'll be okay. So when it all unleashed, what should I do? I almost went along with it like a herd animal, like everyone else, because we were all whipped into that fear of death, that frenzy, that mass formation psychosis. Many under threat of losing their homes and businesses and families. Well, I'd already lost everything. Fucking nothing left to lose except my life, am I right? So I said no. I thought I was warned that things were going to be a hellscape. Here's the hellscape. So I tried to warn all my friends and even that former dreadlock nitwit, boy wonder, piece of snake drivel, even tried to warn him out of a sense of honour and duty because I did actually curse him at some stage. And I thought if he dies of COVID, then that will be a bad karma on me for unleashing my rage, quite righteous rage on him. I don't want that to happen. I don't want anyone, him or anyone attached to him, to die from COVID because he fucked me over and broke my heart and tried to destroy me. I'm not gonna get trapped into that hell loop. So I rang him and said, take it on advisement from me. It's just my opinion on this. You're free to choose as you do, but I recommend you don't buy into that programming. Thank you, Tanya. It's the last time we spoke to each other and I'm okay with that. He did try and, haunt me for a couple of years after that, pop up at crossroads, and it was odd since he's a living man and not dead, and never want him in my life again because of the harms he caused me and distress he caused me. But ultimately, from one human being to another human being, when the COVID crisis came, Mama T did what she always does, protects those she used to care about or still care about. I went into my protector archetype and I fought hard, fought very, very fucking hard. Anyway, be okay with not feeling strong. Nothing really matters except the psychedelic dreaming into full glorious manifestation of the life we need and deserve and will preserve. I don't know what I mean about that. Can't preserve any of you. Can barely fucking preserve myself. What I say yesterday in a video, we're all turning to dried fruits. It's a bit of a worry when you think about it. Against all the odds, alone or in wonderful company with our true beloved ones. So yeah, that was this morning's musings, and all I can say is, wow. Chipping off my brain as soon as I wake up in the morning. I used to have trouble synapsing in the morning, couldn't think clearly for sometimes 2 hours after waking up. So that's also a positive that I'm able to think so philosophically and powerfully first thing upon opening my eyes on the world, even still gasping for my breath. So I'm going to finish the video here. It's 59 minutes in, and I still want to read Alibaba, so I'll come back and focus on Alibaba and the 40 Thieves. So I won't, I'll just call this video Mama Teen Musings, or what I usually call it, so you know that it's me going in my little cyclic mind spiralling as I do from time to time. So, love to you all. Bye for now from Sacred Space at Titania's Realm.